Hello guys, welcome to another video. Rimuru x Eminence in Shadow by elite3532. Chapter 11, Third Paw of Shadow, the most wanted criminal of Midgar and Aurora the Witch of Calamity. Both are feared for their strength and power. And right now, in front of hundreds of spectators, they were engaged in a beautiful dance. A fight with the intent of killing the other. Yet they have fun, smiling as if understanding each other through their attack. On the side, Rimuru was watching, his hand clutching his chest as Beatrix supported him. Beatrix. You should stay down for now, maybe you catched an illness or something serious. Rimuru. No, I can feel it. It's weird, but I know I am not in danger. It's more like my existence is trying to tell me something. To show me something. Beatrix. I see, then I will stay at your side. I can't let you alone in this state. Rimuru. Yeah, thanks. His eyes stared right at the fight between the Eminence and Witch. Every second, the pressure his body set on him increased. Until the fight reached its showdown. Shadow getting a little bit serious, dodging instantly all the bloody spikes formed by Aurora. In a split of a second, he reached the Witch and ended the fight in a single slash. Shadow. I wish I could have fought you at your best. Aurora was limited due to being an ancient warrior summoned for this event. Even so, this small fraction of her power was enough to give even someone like Shadow the wish to fight her again. After that, Aurora disappeared with a smile. Shadow did the same, raising his sword up he left with a burst of his magic. No guards, no knight, no priest were able to stop him. The Archbishop Jack Nelson tried to call out some guard, but his attention was shifted as a gate toward the Holy Sanctum opened. The place where this all-divine power that allowed to summon warriors of the past operated. In the tribune, Rimuru clutched his chest harder as they both left. Once gone, he felt his conscience leaving. Entering a state of sleeping? No, Beatrix knew he wasn't just unconscious. His breath was ragged as if a big fever attacked him, along that his heart was beating at an abnormal rate. Beatrix. This is bad. Calmly analyzing the situation, Beatrix looked down at the arena where the member of Shadow Garden appeared. Alpha was there accompanied by Delta and Epsilon. She thought about it for a moment as she had talked to Alpha a few days ago and had a role in this operation. But now a dilemma formed in front of her. Abandoning the mission for Rimuru or continuing, she bit her lips and made a signal for Alpha to see. The blonde elf caught it and looked up confused, but her blue eyes soon widened upon seeing an unconscious Rimuru. Alpha. What happened? Rimuru-sama unconscious? That's a first. Well, it seems we have to carry the operation with Plan B now. Not like any plan is needed now. Shadow fighting Aurora already destroyed the plan she had made for this operation, so now she just has to follow the rhythm. She nodded her head at Beatrix, telling her to stay with Rimuru, which the older elf gladly accepted. She grabbed Rimuru and quickly jumped out of this place. His safety was more important than anything at the moment. After that, the course of events carried by itself. Alpha entered the Holy Sanctum with the Archbishop, Alexia and Rose as prisoners. Natsumi too was there as an undercover hostage. While going through the memories of the sanctum, everyone present witnesses the truth about Oliver, the legendary hero. Him who was revealed as a girl and a sort of experiment subject. Later, Alpha revealed herself as Oliver's descendant and exposed Archbishop Nelson for being part of an evil cult. He was one of the Knights of Round, the highest authority of the Diabolas cult. This revelation was followed by the Archbishop summoning Oliver, or what was left of him, to fight the intruder. At that moment Alpha decided to retreat as she got what she wanted and what Shadow Garden came for. On the other side, after Sid made an epic departure, he ran through the forest at an inhuman speed, but suddenly a sort of door stopped him. Stalking him, every time Sid tried to trick it, the door would block his path in a very rude manner. Ultimately, Sid conceded and entered the door. Sid. Huh? He is confused as he is met with the sight of a chained Aurora, her arm chained in the air in a very subjective manner. Aurora. You finally arrived here. Smirking, the two stared at each other for a little while as Sid thought the woman was training herself via self-pendason. Sid. Anyway, if you don't have anything else to say, I'll leave now. Aurora. Wait. You got a beautiful woman chained in front of you and don't even reach? How disappointing. Sid. Then those chains weren't here for training purposes? Being oblivious of the cocky situation, Sid continued to stare at her as she attempted a small teasing. Aurora. Well, do you mind helping me out? You see, those chains aren't the most comfortable thing. Sid. I thought you were training, anyway sure. Taking out his sword, he quickly cut through the chain freeing Aurora. The girl smiled and stretched out a little before looking at Sid. Aurora. Do you mind if we take a small walk? Sid. No really, and where are we? Aurora. We are in the memories of the Holy Sanctuary, a place where memories of ancient battles were saved. Taking his arm in hers, she smirked as her rather large breast pressed against the young man's biceps. Aurora. Now shall we go? Sid. Sure. Starting walking, both soon left for the dormant memories of this place. Their goal, the deepest part where the treasure is stocked. Back to Rimuru, Beatrix brought him to the hotel and was now doing the first aid. She didn't know the cause of this sudden collapse. But she still tried, having a fresh towel on his forehead. She also took some general medicine and herbs known in the elven culture to help him. His hands were cold now and fewer actually formed. Beatrix. This is really bad, I don't have not much resource either. She smashed a combination of plants together in a mortar making a homemade medicine. This surely won't heal Rimuru, but it will at least be able to calm him a little. But now, she was met with another problem. Rimuru wasn't in a state where he could actually swallow something. He was barely breathing. Beatrix. If I don't do anything it might be too late. Her eyes switched between Rimuru and the medicine before she shook her head. It wasn't the moment to think. She grabbed the medicine, took a large spoon before swiping it in her mouth. The taste was horrible but bearable. She then turned to Rimuru and grabbed his face before engaging a kiss, transferring the medicine. A simple and well-known method to force out someone to drink or eat something. Beatrix stared right at Rimuru's face while doing so. Only a single thought passed her mind. Beatrix. Please be safe. Rimuru Pav, I feel so cold, so insecure. I don't know where I am but everything is dark. I don't even know what happened, I just suddenly felt weak and passed out. Now that I think it's actually the first time I passed out. First time? Why do these words sound wrong? Anyway, I need to wake up. Sid won against Aurora and the sanctuary opened. Things are unveiling at a rapid pace. Beatrix is also maybe in danger. I can't stay out for too long. Oni-chan. A sudden voice rang in my ear. I got a little startled and turned around. The area suddenly changed, switching from a total void to a sort of guarded garden. In front of me was a little girl with dark hair and purple eyes, and did she just call me Oni-chan? Is there something wrong, Oni-chan? Rimuru. I tried to speak but my throat felt dry, yet it didn't seem to bother the little girl. Do you remember your promise, Oni-chan? I could only stare at her as a bright smile formed on her face. You will protect me and I will do the same for you. After seeing that, I felt as if my consciousness was pulled out of my body. I could now see myself in a third perspective. Rimuru. I know, so don't worry, your big brother will protect you. Hi, shocking me, my body talked and moved on its own. What does this mean? Rimuru. Aurora, you need to be careful. The church is getting a little too excited. Aurora. Okay, if Oni-chan say so. My eyes widened at the mention of this little girl's name. Now that I took a closer look, she does resemble the Aurora who fought Sid. But then, what? Why am I here with her, and her younger self at that? Rimuru. Weird, isn't it? My own body suddenly turned to me. The world around seemed to freeze as the young Aurora's body turned gray. For now, I could just stare at myself. What should I say? I never thought I would talk to myself. Or is he really me? I don't know. Rimuru. What is happening? I have never heard of a phenomenon like this. Rimuru. This isn't really a phenomenon, it's just your subconscious trying to wake your true self. Rimuru. What do you mean? Rimuru. Let me answer with a question. Don't you think it's weird? How different you are from the rest of the Kaganu family. How powerful you are naturally. How talented you are for magic. I thought about it for a moment and nodded. My blue hair is different from my siblings and parents' black hair. My eyes too, even though I recently discovered that my eyes can turn red at an emotional moment. Rimuru. Then? Who am I? Rimuru. I can't tell you. This is something you have to solve yourself. Rimuru. I see. Where are we? I asked another question directly as I felt he wasn't cooperative. Rimuru. We are in the deepest part of your subconscious, where the memories of your true self are sealed. Rimuru. So what should I do to unseal them? Rimuru. I don't know. I am just the manifestation of your true self. Or rather past self. Even so, I only possess a small fraction of your complete memories. Rimuru. My past self? But I don't remember meeting Aurora any time in the past. Even more when she existed centuries before my era. Rimuru. Just try to remember, there is still a promise you have to accomplish. Rimuru. I tried to ask another question, but a sort of gust of wind blinded me. After reopening my eyes, I was back in my body. The area turned from a peaceful garden to a burned battlefield. Rimuru. Where am I now? I scanned the surroundings, finding nothing but a devastated field. The scale of the battle that happened here must have been insane. Suddenly, the ground started to shake. A sort of earthquake in repetition. I turned around multiple times trying to find the source, but froze upon seeing a giant a demon. The power he excluded was terrifying to the point my blood ran cold. Demon. Rahhhh. It suddenly roared, clearing the sky of its cloud. A blood-red sky. Is this a nightmare? The demon was quickly approaching me, and I couldn't move. I prepared myself for the worst, but when it was about to stumble on me, it stopped. Falling down on its knees, the demon stopped any one of movement. Rimuru. What, Aurora? Don't you remember our promise, Oni-chan? Appearing in front of the demon, Aurora faced me with an expressionless face. She was now a teenager. Aurora. You don't remember, but you promised me. Did you lie to me? Rimuru. I don't know, Aurora, but you promised to me. Oni-chan never failed one of his promises. Smiling, her head tilted creepily, her eyes staring dagger at me. Rimuru. I didn't know how to answer. Instead, a light started to shine on my chest, more accurately from my heart. I looked down and unconsciously grabbed the light, taking out a sword made of bright yellow energy from my heart. Aurora. Oh, so Oni-chan finally remembered? You are finally going to fulfill your promise and kill me? Rimuru. Kill you? I muttered, confused while staring at the sword. Then a headache quickly ran past my head. I flinched a little before looking up at Aurora. Rimuru. Promise, huh? Aurora. Yes, Oni-chan promised to kill me if I ever turned into a demon. So please now, kill me. I don't want to suffer anymore, please Oni-chan. Her pleas made me hesitate. Is that really what I should do? Why do I feel a very strong bond with her? She keeps calling me Oni-chan too. Am I really her brother? But then how? It's impossible for me to have met or known her. Are we related? Perhaps the Kaganu family are the descendants of Aurora? No, I feel something is missing. Something really important. Rimuru. Very well, I will kill you. I don't know if what I'm doing is right, but I will do it. I raised the sword high in the air and looked at the girl coldly. She was smiling impatiently, waiting for her death. Why is she happy? She said she turned into a demon. So is she the demon behind her? The church. The demon, Aurora being the Witch of Calamity. The Nebula Kingdom. Nebula Kingdom. Wait, what is that? How do I know this name? No. I don't know these are part of my sealed memories, experiment. Diabolas, myth and legend. What is this sudden burst of information? Aurora Nebula, the first and unique princess of the ancient kingdom, my little sister. Third Pav. Staring at the teenager Aurora, Rimuru saw a long tunnel made of darkness. At the end was a sort of padlock surrounded by golden chains. It was slowly breaking, and the more it did, the more Rimuru learned about himself. It continued until the last chain broke, leaving only the padlock. But before anything could happen to this padlock, Rimuru was pulled out of this and woke up. Rimuru. He jolted up and found himself on a bed. Looking around, he noticed Beatrix laid beside him. The elf was sleeping while hugging him as if trying to warm him up. Rimuru also felt a bad taste in his mouth. He shortly after discovered that it was a medicine Beatrix made for him. Rimuru. I see, sorry to have made you worried. Smiling, he sat on his bed and patted the girl's hair with affection in his eyes. This small gesture managed to wake up the girl as Beatrix immediately hugged Rimuru after noticing him. Rimuru. So, for how long was I out? Beatrix. 2 days. Rimuru. 2 days, huh, that's long. Just like that, Rimuru had missed the whole trouble and fight inside the holy sanctuary. Rimuru. So what happened while I was out? Beatrix. Well, it seems Shadow Garden got what they wanted and left after blowing up the entire sanctuary. Rimuru. I see. Rimuru tried to move but couldn't as Beatrix hugged him tight. He sighed a little and decided to stay still for now. Beatrix. Rimuru. Rimuru. MMH. Beatrix, you look a little different, are you really okay? Rimuru, different. Rimuru repeatedly confused but then smiled. His appearance was still the same, only the shape of his pupil changed. Passing from the normal human round shape, his pupils were like one of a predator. Rimuru, I guess, I did change a little. He muttered softly. He didn't fully unlock his memory, but as for now he already gained something valuable. Rimuru, by the way, you can call me, no never mind. Beatrix. Okay. Beatrix didn't really listen. For the past 2 days she stayed here taking care of Rimuru. Her worry made her stressed a lot. Even after Alpha visited, Beatrix was still unconsolable. This was just how much she cared for Rimuru. Right now, she just wanted to feel his presence, hear his voice and just be with him. 2 days prior in the sanctuary, Sid and Aurora were walking through Aurora's memories, going through some event of her life. The space distorted, revealing a crying little girl. Sid stared around, finding himself in a garden. Sid. Is that you, Aurora? Yes. Walking toward the little girl, Aurora felt a wave of unpleasant nostalgia. Sid. Why are you crying, Aurora? I don't know, my memory is quite confusing. Kneeling in front of the girl, Aurora held her chin for an instant before slapping her. The little girl fell backward and broke like glass. The space then distorted again, revealing a battlefield, hundreds of corpses on the ground. A young Aurora could again be seen crying in the middle of this. Sid. You are crying again? Aurora. I was quite a crybaby in the past, well this is why I had my older brother protecting me. Sid. You had a brother? Aurora smiled and nodded. She grabbed one of the swords smashed in the ground and went to cut down her young self. Sid. Is that necessary? Aurora. Those are just memories, take it like a sort of barrier blocking the passage. But when she was about to swing down the sword, one of the corpses started moving and tried to attack her. Sid reacted in time and pulled her out before anything could happen. Aurora. Oh, it seems the sanctuary is rejecting us and is now using the memories to stop us. Sid. It seems so. Both stared around, amused of the situation. Sid always wanted to try a rampage on one of those battlefields. After a short struggle with Sid showcasing his swordsmanship, they quickly go through the memories and in the hallway toward their destination, Aurora asks a question. Aurora. Anyway, why don't you talk about yourself a little? Sid. I don't really mind. Aurora. Do you have any siblings? Sid. A sister and brother, both older. Aurora. I see, it must be nice to have a sister. I only had a brother, not like I mind it. Sid chuckled a little. As a boy his sister is quite a piece to handle, overprotective and possessive, a yandere. Sid. Claire, my sister is hard to handle, but Rimuru, my older brother, is a lot more reasonable. Aurora. Upon hearing the second name, Aurora froze on the spot. Her sudden halt startled Sid, who stopped at his turn. Aurora. Did you say Rimuru? Sid. Huh, yes. Aurora. I see. A small smile formed on her face as she started to walk again. Sid. Is there something wrong? Aurora. No, I just realized something great. So you reincarnated, brother, I'm glad. Sid. I see. Sid thought it was just some acting to play the mysterious woman, so he didn't think about it much. The event then proceeded like they were supposed to. Sid reached the last room and found Oliver's sword, a sword that can only be wielded by the chosen one. There the Archbishop appeared and used Oliver to fight Sid. After some turn of events, Sid chose a radical way to end it all. The original plan was using Oliver's sword to destroy the treasure, which is one of the arms of Diabolus. But why use the sword, find the arm and destroy it when you can just blow up everything? With that in mind, Sid quickly snapped Oliver's neck and used his famous IAM atomic, blowing up the sanctuary. In the very end, Aurora left after Sid destroyed everything. She bid him farewell before disappearing. Rimuru Pav. Another has passed since I woke up. I was now standing there in the forest in the middle of nowhere. Though, this place is the last where I could feel the remains of Aurora's magic before they disappeared. Sid was also there, so he must have met her again before she disappeared. It seems that she died along the sanctuary. Well, dying is a big world. She must have some other remains around the world. Anyway, I came here for 2 things. First is to make a grave for Aurora. She is my little sister in my former life. I don't remember all, but still enough to think of her as an important and dear person of mine. Rimuru. I also wanted to give you that. I didn't have the courage to give it to Claire, so here. Smiling, once I was done with the grave, which was a very simple and primitive design, I took out the last and only chocolate box I had kept from Valentine's Day. I then put it down in front of her grave before praying for a minute. Rimuru, we'll meet again, so wait and I'll fulfill this promise of mine. Finishing that, I was now going to pass to the second thing I came for. Beatrix is a strong ally and partner, but to fight the cult, I need more power and help. Fortunately, my memory gave me a few interesting things. I smirked and stretched my hand up. My option and power did grow tremendously, as if a dormant power started to wake up deep inside my soul. Rimuru, I know you are still here, heroic spirit, so answer my call. Using ancient magic, I affected the barrier between life and death, directly calling out the elven hero. Oliver. A young blonde-haired girl appeared in front of me, confused. Her eyes were devoid of emotion, but I could still see the surprise in her eyes. Rimuru, it has been a long time, Oliver. Oliver, why you are alive? Rimuru, long story, anyway let's talk, we have a lot to discuss.